I'm your host, Link the Boss.
And I'm your host, Blam the General.
Yeah, baby. What time is it?
It's time for 2 MCs in the Mic Podcast.
I said, what time is it?
It's time for 2 MCs in the Mic Podcast.
You the below, right? Underground where we are, right? If you keep it the buck and I keep it the buck, then we all gonna be alright. Cause we want the ball, right? The money, the bitches and all, right? The figures, the digits, the exquisite visits to all of the different shows. Right? I was still want more. Private jets to Caribbean shores. Girls in bikini, champagne grapes on my feed me. Smoking the lettuce for sure. Penthouse on the beach, champagne spilling hot tub where we reach.
You're in tune to the 2 MCs in the Mic Podcast with your host, Link the Boss, Blam the General.
What up? Yeah. I want to welcome everybody to the 2 MCs in the Mic Podcast. I'm your host, Blam the General.
And I'm your host, Link the Boss.
And I am Tuscadero.
You already know what it is.
Pinky the Brain, as we like to call her.
Yeah, as you like to call it. She rebuked that name in the name of Jesus. She done be killing that name every time you say
she's still the brains of the operation. So.
Facts.
All right. I love you guys. Love you guys.
Yo, I just figured out something a while ago, and I know I'm probably going to be the last one. I'm hoping that I'm not the only one that just figured it out.
Right.
I'm hoping that y'all been know, but I'm just the one that's late to the party. I'm talking about both of y'all.
What?
Mm-hmm. Did y'all know that the tree outside is the pecan tree?
Oh, yeah. We've been to
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I just fucked up about 4 of them outside. My tire rolled over. I said, that look like a fucking pecan. So I just said, I'm going to crush one of these motherfuckers. And I tasted the shit. I said, oh, shit. So 4 pecans later, I came back here like, damn.
We got a pecan tree.
We got a pecan tree. I ain't
never go hungry.
I ain't never get no pecan pie out this motherfucker. But, you know what I mean? At least I'm going to acknowledge the fact that there's a pecan tree out this bitch.
No doubt, man.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Man. I mean,
we could get some shit out this bitch.
That leads us into our topic for the day.
We ain't gonna do no Ask Pinky.
No.
I mean, we definitely asking Pinky. This is the Ask Pinky.
All right, let's do that.
Because it's like, you know, we dealing with these millennials nowadays.
Right.
I mean? And it's like,
what's wrong with them?
They're all the way lost. And of course, I know we gotta accept some of the responsibility and why that is.
We have to accept any responsibility that have to do with our kids. Period.
Exactly.
Well,
Period.
See, this is what I see, y'all. I see the fact that a lot of these kids, these millennials, I'm talking about
when they Generation Z or something like that, they ain't no damn millennials. It's Z and millennials, right?
Yeah, the millennials are the 30 and above, I believe.
X.
And Generation X
is 40 and up.
It's 40 and up. Yeah, because the X came before a
X
millennial.
is 40 and up. Z is, so what are we going back to A now or something?
I don't know what to call them.
Well, I mean,
they all crazy as
the
hell.
next generation.
What are you going to call the next generation? Is
Yeah.
it A? Because we didn't went from Z. Can't go from Z to Y.
You know that's some white man shit, so don't even worry about it.
We ain't
the
even
next
going.
generation. Let's keep it moving. The motherfuckers who are now anyway between 16 and up.
And
16.
their parents are 40 and below.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Them.
Yeah, that's part of the problem, man.
Yeah.
There was babies having babies.
No, I'm going to tell you what the problem was. You're talking about the generation of the late 70s, the early 80s, which was the crack decade.
Right.
And what actually happened is crack came into the communities and it destroyed. They had already put heroin into the communities to destroy the black man.
Right.
They thought that taking the black man out of the household would destroy the black family, but what happened is the black woman stood up. She did.
It kind of did destroy the black family because now the male is no longer a part of the family.
Right, but even though the black male was taken out of the home, the black woman stood up and she raised
Yeah,
the children.
But
the ones that
she
didn't get
still
strung
couldn't
out.
teach that man how
How
to be a man.
No, of course not.
That was all the ones that didn't get strung out on the drugs.
But this is where I was getting ready to go with that. What I was getting ready to say is, those children were raised by a generation of women that got caught up in that game. That got hooked on the crack and the drugs. So a lot of these kids raised themselves.
So I was just gonna say, so how could we say that the woman raised them if they were out there neglecting?
Well,
them
when I say in the 60s is when they put the heroin into the communities, which took a lot of the black men out of the home because they were strung out.
Right.
But then when they gave us these entitlements, the food stamps and all of that, they told us that they could not be in the household. So what actually happened is, yeah, we were trying to hold it down, but then they said, wait a minute. So it wasn't a black man holding the black family together.
Right.
It was her. So now we need to destroy her.
Right.
And what they did was they put the crack cocaine into the communities, and the women are the ones that really got hooked. The men went to jail for selling it, but the women got hooked on it, which left the babies to basically raise themselves or be raised by grandparents and stuff like that.
Right.
So those are the kids that are having these children now that are 15, 16, that don't give a F about life, you, or nothing else. And that's because they were reared in a time when nobody was there teaching them.
Well, systematically, this is all built by design in regards to that. Because when you look at where we're coming from and what we're doing, 13% of the population control culture.
Mm-hmm.
Black people control culture. We determine what's hot, what's not. We determine everything. And the scare is that if they take their foot off our neck, we'll become too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably correct. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, right.
Which is more than possibly correct.
So we got lead in our water in Flint, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
We got all of this shit that they're doing to commit genocide and kill us. Because common sense just tells you, if they're just 13%, let's let them be. Why is it so important that you keep your foot on the neck of 13% of population?
Yeah, to
out of
deactivate them.
Out of 100% of population, you spend so much time in incarcerating 13%.
I can tell you why.
Talk to me.
Truth of the matter is that they know, even though they don't want to admit it, that we are the true kings and queens of this earth.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
a lot of the knowledge that was obtained that they use today
came from us.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so if they do take our they put off our neck, we're gonna stand up and we're gonna outgrow them. You know what I mean?
And overtake them.
Instead of them controlling what we do, we'll be in control, which is the last thing.
What allows them to control what we do, and that I was talking to my brother over here to my right, and what he explained to me was the entitlement program.
I'm gonna break it down even better.
Please
than that.
do.
So, if we understand Black Wall Street and Tuscaloosa and all these places where
blacks
when we had segregation, we were more powerful because we had to shop at our own things that look like us.
Yes.
It has forced money to stay in our community.
Yes.
And because we shopped at Mr. Brown's store and Mrs. Such and Such bank and that, it forced the money to stay in the community. And we loved the community, so we would take care of the community. And that created what was known as Black Wall Street, which was Tuscaloosa, right?
Yeah.
Right. So now we have that. White folks saw that and they came in.
And they didn't like it.
They burnt the shit down.
They said, why should these niggas have those big houses over there?
No problem.
And we got it.
Let me ask you a question.
And we don't have it, brother.
So, I'm just being, as you would say, devil's advocate.
We have to be.
You know what I mean? So would that say that the whole movement that Martin Luther King stood for and died for was really a hindrance to the race?
In my opinion, yes. And this, I'm not going to explain. Please just let me finish my point, though.
Go ahead.
I want to just make this point while I have it in my head. When you are all inclusive with some stuff that you don't produce nothing, it becomes a problem. Because the system is designed that as long as I keep you as a dependent, you will never be able to truly be your truthful self because you need these subsidies. Yeah, you can't reach your potential. So if you need food stamps, and you need this, and you need that, and you need public housing, and you need all that,
I'm gonna give it to
I
you.
create these programs to keep you to be less than your full potential, in my opinion. I'm not saying that we don't need it and we shouldn't take it. I'm just giving you the idea of what their mindset is, why they're giving it to you too. Why you're getting it. Because it's the same thing going on with the stimulus, why we're not getting the check. But keep in mind, public housing means that you can't have a man in the house.
Nope.
You want Section 8, your man can't be
Not
there.
only you can't have a man in the house, but you can't even excel in life.
Exactly.
Okay, like let's just say for instance, Social Security.
I'm gonna let you speak, but I want to finish.
I have a problem with my hands, so I do get Social Security. But if I go out there and try to work and make a little extra, they want to take
The difference out of that.
out of my Social Security.
Right.
My Social Security don't take care of me. It's not enough
Well, that's the point.
to provide for me.
It was never supposed to be able to provide for you, though. That's the problem.
But
to
then when
keep
I
you
go
hindered.
out and try to provide for myself,
being successful.
they tell me, "Oh no, you can't do that."
And that's the reason why I don't
They
really
don't want you in the tax
remember when we
bracket.
were having the conversation about Democrats and situations, and I
Yes.
tell you that as long as you allow subsidies to be a norm for you, then you become
Stagnant.
you become stagnant to that because listen, I get $800 every week, every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You know that that's it. And you got people that are on public assistance that don't want to make
want
a
no
dollar
more.
more because they don't want to lose
What they got?
They got.
Yeah.
So that
Not
becomes a-
realizing that you can obtain way more than what you're getting.
Right.
But no, because when I wasn't working, which there have been times when I didn't, and I was receiving food stamps, going to the market and buying stuff was no issue for me.
Right.
But then when I started working and having to take money that I work for, which you're supposed to do anyway.
Right.
I'm not taking that away,
Because
but
you're answering our point anyway.
That's what I was about to
But keep on going.
when I take the money that I work for every day and spend that same
you're suffering.
$200 that I was getting in food stamps, it affects my bottom line.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why? Ask yourself, why is that? That's systematic. That's created that way. That's the part that you're not looking at. Why is it like that?
When they should allow me to get the food stamps even though I'm working, which was subsidized.
No, not even that.
What are y'all
At the end
saying?
of the day, you should be providing for yourself
Exactly.
without the assistance of the
But
government.
there are some people, y'all, and we have to be honest about this, that can't.
No, and the program should only be for them.
Exactly.
The program should only be for
That's who
them.
it was
Only be for those
originally
It should
set
only be.
for.
It should only be for them. What they figured out was this: if I could keep the
Able-bodied people
exactly
hindered
And-
as well.
right, and the poor, what they call the
That's
poor
less.
white trash, and the black people and the immigrants on subsidies. Let me explain something to you. So let me give you something that you may not understand. Your birth certificate is a bank account that's kept into the
Social
right.
Security
Okay.
number is too.
Right. So what they did was they did bonds on your name once the day you were born.
Yep.
And not to get into all of that, those things have been collecting money over the year.
Every year.
So if you stay below what your actual value is, there's somebody reaping off the capital of that.
Yes.
So it's in their business. It is in their. They have to be
It's
poor.
called the Virginia group. something
Right.
like that.
You have to be poor for they to be rich. Because if everybody meet their full potential, this person can't get
Actually owned by
exactly. You can only there's only about a certain amount of money that's circulating, right?
Right.
Let's just say it's only $100 circulated. Well, if I got 50 of it, there's only 50 left in the pool for everybody else to get.
And yeah.
And that's how it works. So when they do census and all these things that you don't even understand why they're doing it, it's to count people to determine how much money that should be in circulation.
You're born into debt.
It's just a way of saying, okay, we need $2 trillion in circulation at all times because the population rose by this. I'm gonna print the money. There's no difference between $1 and $100 bill. It costs the same amount of money.
Right.
They create the value for these different paper.
Right.
So we gotta understand how.
Like technically, if you're doing your own commercial shit,
Yeah.
you could motherfucking create your own
Right.
money.
That's the reason why.
And as long as
Right.
people is willing to accept it, it's gonna be it
Yeah.
stands.
They'll kill it. They'll kill you before you can do
Of
it.
course.
Yeah.
But yes.
I mean,
Keep in mind. All right. So let's get even deeper than that. Everything that we did was backed by gold or silver or some precious metal.
Yeah.
There was an exchange of every time you had to move something, you had to move gold or precious metal.
I believe it was 1933 where that changed.
Right.
When they put the whole
Paper.
federal
reserve shit,
reserve in
Right.
place.
So what they decided was that we don't have to move no assets.
Do y'all know the Federal Reserve is not owned by the government? That it's a
Of course not.
private
It's
entity?
Yeah, it's a private entity.
families
Yeah.
own that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We definitely know
The
that.
Rothschilds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they really the ones that control the,
The money.
economy.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
So when you understand that when you get a loan for $1 million, nobody went and got no assets and put it in your bank account for $1 million. They just put a 1 and add all them zeros and said, okay, now you have $1 million.
But they
Nothing-
never put in the
Right.
tangible $1 million.
There's nothing
Yeah.
backing it other than somebody saying that you
people-
owe that.
If people decide that they're gonna stop accepting that currency, you're broke.
Basically,
Well, that's
with
the reason
$1
why
million.
that's the reason why we have wars now, because the U.S. dollar is the dominant dollar in the world.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
losing
what-
its value though.
Exactly. Well, if another country becomes the dominant dollar, what happens?
Going at it. Going at thing next.
And China right now.
Exactly.
That's why the China virus. People don't really understand that we at war. They don't really understand that there's a war going on right now.
And
I mean,
so back
It's a psychological war though.
Right.
It's not a physical war.
of course, no,
it's physical and psychological.
It's physical.
It's both. Because
I
you're
mean-
still taking a whole bunch of people out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You ain't got no choice.
Look at this corona thing, right?
Oh,
Disproportionately, minorities, which is the same black
Mhm.
and Latinos
Hispanics.
and Hispanic and
Yeah.
already are dying 3 to 1.
But can do
Hold up. So what is it in my? I know in war there's casualties of war. I'm gonna have to lose some of mine, but the agenda I still get to control the population of these people. Because if you look at the 200 and some odd thousand people who died already from the coronavirus,
a third.
3/3.
Mhm.
2/3 of it, I'm sorry.
People of color.
2/3 of it is people of color or minorities that are dying from it.
But do y'all remember?
So for every one of yours you losing 2 of ours or 3 of ours.
Do y'all remember when it first hit?
Win-win for them.
Y'all, do y'all remember when it first hit? It wasn't really killing us. It was killing older white people. It was killing older people. It really wasn't
That's
affecting
still
us.
an agenda.
But listen,
They don't want to keep paying Social Security.
Exactly. They can't afford to pay Social Security, so they're gonna wipe out some of them people. Why you look at what
That's
happened?
why
in Simpsons?
elderly and
Yeah.
minority are being affected the most
Man,
because
tell this
it's
woman
part of
something.
the agenda to get rid of them to free up the money that they're giving them
So they don't have
for
to
other
pay
shit.
it.
That'll definitely take us.
So it's better for
take
them
us
for
out
you
of
to
debt.
get it. Yeah.
Take us out of debt, some sort. Know what I mean?
It's genocide
They
in
spend their
my
money on
opinion.
other shit.
So the core of what you're saying back to the drugs and everything else, the system have always been designed
to destroy
to
us.
destroy us in any way, shape, form. When they created projects, was to put everybody that
In
didn't
one
have
place.
any nothing in one place.
Let me tell you.
So they
let me
could
tell
kill
y'all
each other
something
off.
maybe you didn't know.
Right.
Did you know the project? You know who gave it? Well,
It's some Russian country or something like that.
who gave them
Yeah.
Concept.
the
Yeah.
concept
Mhm.
of these projects?
No.
I want to say it was Russia or one of them
No, no,
countries,
no.
some concentration
Who was
camp
it?
type
I'm gonna
shit.
keep it a buck. They probably gonna not like me for it, but it was definitely the Jewish community.
Right.
I mean,
I knew it was something over
they
there.
were the first ones that had projects that let the ghettos came from them.
Mhm.
Know what I mean?
Terrorism came from them. They were the
Well,
original terrorists, rather than anybody
I
knew.
will
A
not
lot of
speak
things
on
came
that.
from
No,
them, but I'm
it's
not even gonna get into it.
Mhm.
But I do know that ghettos, this whole ghetto concept that we
Mhm.
have, came from them.
And
But-
what they
but
did was
think
they
about it.
redlined us.
But think about it, right? We're gonna give you a community to live in, and then we're gonna create subsidies for you. Every such and such, you're gonna get this. The country is gonna pay you for this. And what they do is they know that it's not enough for you to really have a decent life,
Not at all.
so they give you just enough,
and tell you can't get no more, because if you get some more, they're gonna take what they're giving you.
right? And then that's when now it creates
Part
the
of
infight.
socialist scheme.
It creates
That's a socialist scheme that's going on.
right.
Man.
So to create that
Even
also though,
Even though we're living in a capitalist time,
right?
it's still socialist
The ideas
that's going on that's keeping us hindered from growing.
So what ended up happening now is that when they created that system, you have to weaken it so we can send you there. If I have you guys making your own money with your own communities, you ain't gonna need what I'm doing. Because Joe could hire you. Such and such could hire you. She got this going on over there. I have to weaken that first.
That brings us back to Martin Luther the King.
Right. So they gotta weaken our businesses and what we have, kill that out. Then here go drugs so you could help yourself. You could sell some shit, kill off some more
of your people,
and fuck up your neighborhood. And then now and while you're doing that, you're still living in the projects.
But we also gonna take the motherfucking main breadwinners out of the house,
of course,
so that we could have the women there,
right?
And we could manipulate the women into believing that they don't need the man in the house because we're providing from them. We're taking the place of your man,
right? And then our children.
So now
we fell into it so wholeheartedly that it's like I know people that refuse to do better for themselves
because they don't want to stop their
losing their benefits.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's social engineering is what they call that. It's devised to create that system.
The funny thing is I be hearing white folks talking about all the black folks on welfare and all that.
And it's 99% of their asses getting it.
Truth of the matter is it was designed for us, and yes, that's why they say
just
us.
like abortion.
That's why they say us, because they know that it was designed for us.
They know that. By design, what they did was cripple our communities, introduce drugs and violence and guns,
and remove the men.
And if you kill the male rhino, the young bulls are gonna go wild. So what we are seeing is that, cause when they did it first, we had OGs, right? Even though they were selling the drugs in the community, they
kept things maintained.
Exactly. We had a structure. Mm-hmm. We had people doing what they needed to do to keep it going.
Right.
Right.
And it was respect.
Right. So what they did now was they got rid of the fucking OGs.
They put them all in jail.
So now you don't have what's considered the people that Mr. John used to sell drugs down the corner, but you wasn't going to disrespect Miss Mary around the corner if she needed her bags. There was even in wrongs, there was process. There was rules in the wrongs when you were doing the wrongs.
Let me explain something to you. Somebody told me, said, you see her? You see that lady over there? Mm-hmm. That lady over there, she got 6 kids. She ain't got no money right now to pay her rent. There's no food in the house, but I'm going to go pay her rent.
Go pay that rent.
And I'm going to put some food in the house. Exactly. When shit go down, her door going to be the first one that open for me.
Exactly.
And when he told me that, I didn't understand it because I was young, but as I got older and I began to see the process, it made a lot of sense.
Even with selling the drugs, we had rules.
And morals. And shit
behind
you did not cross.
Exactly.
No, certain things
now
you
there
didn't
is
do.
no rules.
You wasn't coming setting up on the corner without somebody telling you that you could.
You could. Else you was getting wiped off the map.
You was gonna have a problem.
I can't say that was a good way to handle situations.
It got handled.
At the end of the day, there was just another man, black man most likely, that was trying to feed their family as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, it doesn't matter what you do right or wrong if you don't have a system in place. Mm-hmm. Even if you're running a drug operation, there's a system in place.
And that makes it run
smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
And once you go against the system, then greed always create the reason why shit fall down the pipe. Somebody fucks up with the system. If the system is we only sell between 8 and 12, this and that.
Somebody gonna sell at 12.
Nobody new can't come into the cipher. This is what it is. Mm-hmm. You're making $100,000 a month. Don't go for the 200,000. Stay right here. This is the safe zone. We got it all under control. You know what I mean? We don't work on the day when Sergeant XYZ asshole work because we know he don't fuck with us. But the other ones, we got him on payroll. They'll fuck with us. There'll be a nigga be like, man, fuck that sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
And then he gonna bring down the whole organization.
Exactly.
The whole organization.
So that's where it is. So back to the core conversation is that these young cats are a product of a situation that was socially engineered anyway. And as long as we're dependent on somebody to give us something, that's why when we had this money conversation the last time, I said all I want them to do is get the fuck out of my way.
So would you say that they're too far gone now?
I want to save them, but I don't know if we can.
Is there any way of saving? I'm
a Jamaican, so we believe in once there's life, there's hope. I will always say
I don't see a way of being able to save them.
To turn it around?
I'll give you one that I think.
Let me tell you something.
I'll tell you what I think in a minute.
I mean, you got these young kids out here. They so disrespectful that they killing their own parents.
But you know something, y'all. Look.
They killing the people that birthed them.
You got all of these niggas out here talking about their gangsters, right?
Right.
Walking around with their pants down around way down around their hips.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a gun in their pocket.
Right.
And they bad.
Right.
But all the gangsters that I know, all of them, are either dead or in jail doing long stretches.
Well, you know, those are...
So where is the value? See, that's my question.
It's a gangster born every day.
But where is the value in doing it when you know, like for instance, you get arrested and you go away for 40 years, you're going to miss your children growing up? You're going to miss your grandchildren growing
up? Your point is well made, but when your community don't leave you with much and the only people you can look up to is a nigga down the block, because he's the only one that you see.
So what can we do in the community where we don't lose a whole generation?
Exactly.
He's embracing you. He's telling you, look, man, you see this money I got? I can show you how to get this money too.
The only person that you have to look up to is a nigga on the corner. So what you expect?
That's why the gangs got so big.
Because we ain't really got too many black leaders.
No.
Think about who our black leaders is right now. Could you name 5?
Nah, we ain't got enough. You could go to Reverend Al. You could go to
Stacy, Reverend Al.
See, I don't know who Stacy is.
Stacey Abrams.
Oh yeah, she's down here, but
but
people in New York don't know who she is.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Know what I mean,
oh yes, they do. Yes, we do.
I mean, we know enough to know enough, but what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, think about it.
People to look up to.
The only way we can help the generations that are suffering right now is by showing them true success. But they're gonna only emulate what they're gonna see.
Well, they think success is P. Diddy,
and that's
Puffy,
fine. And
Jay-Z.
that's fine.
They think that's success. They think that being a big basketball player is success.
That is success. Don't take that away.
No, I'm not taking that away.
That is success.
But there's more than that.
Only.
Yeah, there's more than that, guys.
Well, I understand what
the thing about it is this, though. Until you can show them the blueprint of success, you can't tell me. Tell me not to go sell drugs, but you can show me something else that's gonna stop me from selling drugs to do that.
And that's the only thing.
That's the problem.
And that's still gonna feed my family.
That's what they see. They see the Jay-Z's. They see the.
But they don't know the blueprint.
They see the Puffies. They see the Jay-Z's. That's why they all aspire to be rappers.
Right.
That's why everybody trying to be a rapper.
And the basketball player and everything.
Football player,
That's all they can. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they think that's all.
Got out the motherfucker. They got out of here.
Yeah, they got out of here. Yeah,
right.
they did.
So,
but then you got to reach back and take somebody with you.
Yeah, I mean, that I'm not knocking.
That depends on the person that actually is successful.
Right.
I mean, whatever morals they got, they might take their little friend out.
Their homies.
And fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the truth of the matter is, these are the type of things that we have to understand. That if I make this podcast and it's successful, and a young little nigga come to me and be like, "Yo, Link, you teach me how to do that," and he is sincere, he wants to learn. It's my job to pass the craft on.
You supposed to.
I'm like, all right, come on in, turn in the show. Let me get you going.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you a secret, man.
Right.
Motherfuckers' prides don't allow them to do that nowadays.
No,
that's the problem.
They think they know everything.
Their pride is not gonna allow them to do that.
Pride is a killer of dreams and success.
So where is it that we overlook their pride and go and reach them? Because they're not gonna come to us and say
they don't want us to reach them. That's the point, y'all.
They're not gonna come to us.
They want you to reach out. You just have to reach out on a level that they can understand.
They can
fuck with. You know what I mean? When I speak to these cats, they come with the bravado, but you let them talk for about 20 minutes and they talk themselves out for 20 minutes, then you can start implementing some information. They need to know why I don't fuck with you and why they doing what they do, man. I'm my own man, blah, blah, blah. You let that shit go. I don't feel no kind of way about it because when I'm their age, I probably felt the same way too.
Yeah.
So I gotta let that come out and be like, all right, cool.
I understand that.
I understand that. But this is where I'm at with it. This is why I'm at with it.
Hey, do you want to be famous?
Do you want to be famous?
Do you want to be famous?
Let We Famous Media help you with that.
With music videos starting at $150.
Web design, electronic press kits, social media branding, and more.
If you want the best quality for the best prices, We Famous Media can't be beat.
So invest in yourself.
With We Famous Media,
Where we fame us.
let us make you a star.
We back at it.
Telling like a crack at it. What I'm trying to say is this, right? If we ourselves don't, and what I'm big on, if we don't create independent businesses like this podcast and 1,500 different businesses where we can employ our own, where we can show what success could look like, then we can start to infuse it. What end up happening is they still only have the drug dealer and the people in the streets
To look up
to
and
look
the
up to.
athletes. And, yeah.
That's not all they got to look up to.
What they got?
Same way we creating this podcast.
There's black lawyers.
There's black lawyers, there's things that
How much of them get? How much of those interactions they get?
They don't get.
Not many.
The only thing they're gonna see is the people, the rappers.
When they see a black lawyer,
Okay,
it's
so
when he come in the
the
door.
label owners, the basketball players, the football players.
I'm working with
So
you
it's
now on
really-
what you're saying.
It's really those people that is gonna take to bring them to a level of understanding how to get to that point.
A lot of those guys that are there still don't have it up here for other things.
Of course.
That's why they lose their
Because
money.
they're all
before
a part of that
exactly.
same. They're a part of the same situation that we speaking on.
Right. So what I'm saying to you now is that if I see other different success other than rap and other things, that's why I like the fact that Nori got Drink Champs, and I like the fact that
But no,
Joe
it's a rapper,
Budden's
man.
got-
I
Joe Budden's
understand.
a rapper. Everybody you speaking on has built their platform through music.
And let me further elaborate. What I'm also saying is that though they're showing you outside of rapping
That there are other options.
that there's other options. So their
Yes,
career.
but you got to understand, in order for them to get to those options, they had to go through music. to get
I
there.
understand that part.
Yeah, but look.
But now he's saying, now when I show you that, you don't even have to do this rap.
You can
You
still
can just go do this too.
podcast. Right.
Because listen, at the end of the day, however you look at it, you have to show me success for me to want to emulate it. I understand how they got there. That's fine. That's their destination. Everybody ain't gonna have the same route. You dig what I'm saying? You could have been nice as fuck, and if you was right next to Jay-Z, like Memphis Bleak, you would have been Memphis Bleak for Jay. You got way better bars. Period. Everybody know that.
Everybody know that.
So that's without question. So if you were next to that, that's an opportunity. That's a situation.
Opportunity, right.
That's opportunity. But Memphis Bleak had to know to take the opportunity and run with it.
Yes.
He could have fucked it off too. And Jay be like, I can't fuck with him. I love him, but I can't fuck with him. We go through that situation right now with the
All
cats
the
around
time, all
us. So
the time.
so that the point is that you still have to, though, regardless of how much you're going to lose along the way, to curve it. You still have to show success. No matter what you do, however they get to it. A basketball player got to say, listen, you can't make it to
Let me ask you a question. What's the name of our podcast?
2 MCs and a Mic podcast.
All right.
And y'all forgot the girl, but go ahead.
In order for us to get to this podcast, what do we go through?
L.
Music, hell, whatever.
Exactly.
Right.
Music.
Right.
A learning process.
Know what I mean? Most of the podcasts, besides certain podcasts, but most of the ones that's familiar to everybody nowadays, has came through music. Bad,
And I'm a answer
Joe
that for you.
Buttons,
Right, go ahead.
the academics,
All of them.
to all of them. They all derived to this
The
platform
greatness from
through
music.
music.
All right, and I'm going to answer
Know
that
what
for
I
you
mean?
right now. Listen to this. The reason why that is that way is because the culture drives everything.
Exactly.
This culture, but what I'm saying to you is that even though the culture drive everything else, we watch the success. All right,
We
so let
saw
me give you a situation now. 50 Cent. Music, right? And now he's doing film, Power. You know, me and Miss Julie always talking about life. I don't get to watch the episodes, and
So let me ask you a more important question. You think he'd be as successful with the power and all that if he didn't get it through music?
No.
I don't think so either.
But
That's
listen
my
what I'm
point.
saying. But listen. We get
Music
into
brought
it.
him the money.
But what I'm saying to you is that when you're in an opportunity to show younger kids, a younger kid is sitting. My son now, to look at the TV and say, I could do what 50 Cent is doing because there is an image of that there.
Yeah.
There is something there
It's
now
a
that he
proven-
can aspire to that.
Right.
Yes.
Now, how he reaches there, I don't, you know what I mean? He has to find his way. The maze is the
important part.
And it don't have to be
That
music
is the
now.
part-
But
that's
it
why-
don't
part
have
to
to
be-
be music
Then
now.
what else is it gonna be?
What I'm saying is what I'm saying is
Give me another outcome on where else it's gonna be. Besides that, unless
besides
somebody like
athletics,
us,
besides
unless
athletics,
somebody like us actually pulls a child in and teach them the ropes.
That's what
and
I'm
show
telling
them
you.
how it's done. How is that gonna happen?
That's exactly what we're saying.
That's
needs to be
exactly what
done.
we're saying needs
That's
to
what
be
needs
done.
to be done.
Yeah,
That's
we
what I'm
Parents
saying.
and the
But
people
it's
involved
not
in this
being
child's
done.
life
Right. But I
need to
can't-
step up and be accountable for creating a successful child.
Right. And then what I'm also saying is that I can't speak for everybody who ain't doing it. I can only speak for me.
Yeah.
And what we plan to do it.
Yeah.
Just like how
part.
But at the end of the day, if we just worried about our part, then that means the rest of the world's suffering, man.
No, because
We gotta-
our
we
part
need
can
to
be an example
we
for
need
the
to
rest.
We need to be teaching the other people that's in our place how to do the same thing that we're aspiring to do.
let me say something
And
to you.
that you can. It doesn't have to be only your child.
Exactly.
It's the people that are involved in your life and your surroundings. If you
Facts.
see somebody with your
potential.
homie went to prison and he got a 5-year-old son.
All right.
What happens
It's
with that
it's
son?
up to you.
to go help raise that boy.
Okay. Now what? Now here's the bigger picture. What about the people that don't see us, that don't know us?
Right.
Meaning,
Go ahead, we're listening.
Meaning, how are they gonna see anything besides the music to get to where they want, or the sports or whatever?
So let me say this.
How would they see that unless they seeing this show and hearing what we speaking of?
Okay.
what you're saying is a job and going to school and getting an education
What-
is not enough now.
What I'm saying is
Nah, that
this.
ain't what I'm saying at
No. What I'm saying is this. I understand what you're saying. I'm gonna answer it for you. What I'm saying is that if you don't start somewhere, we're gonna lose some along the way. There's gonna be casualties at this war, period. But if there's not, if we don't do nothing going forward, then the cycle continues.
Yeah.
So there has to be something that we determine that, all right, this is how I'm gonna rock this situation right here. It's just what it is. The first nigga that came on the block with the crack, he had to teach somebody else how to make the crack.
Exactly. When you say teach somebody else, this is my perfect. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm getting at.
Right.
This is how I'm trying to get to the deeper issue. You have to put something in place that's gonna teach people abroad, not just the people that surround us,
Right.
not just the people that see what we doing, but the people that don't have a clue of who the fuck we are.
Of course.
They need to learn too. The only way that's gonna happen is by putting things in place that's gonna reach
Right.
people beyond
Everywhere.
us.
So for us, because I can't speak for 50, I can't speak for all of them, and I know they're probably doing stuff behind the scenes in Queens and Harlem that I don't know about, so I don't want to speak
That
like
we
they're
don't
not.
hear about.
Exactly, and I don't want to speak on what they're not doing for their communities. They may be doing a lot more than we're giving them credit for, and they may not be doing shit. I don't know. I don't want to speak on that, but what I will say is this. The first thing we have to do is create success for ourselves so that we're able to position ourselves to now help everybody else. So now if we could probably have a podcast in university where you could go learn how to create a podcast show or something like that. We probably could have independent film university where you could create your independent film, and if your film is good, we have the network to put it on too.
Right.
So we have we give you the
outlets.
inspiration, and then we will create the outlet for you to have it. That's how I would do it.
Right.
So not only am I gonna tell you that, if you come through this school, you're gonna somehow make a film that is gonna go on this channel. And the only thing that goes on this channel is movies and films is made from the school. And because we're there, we're curating it. We're making sure that the content is good. We're gonna make sure they have a good movie, and we're gonna say at the same time you get this money. The reason why I don't fuck with college football and those sports is I feel like you should pay them boys.
Yeah, they need to pay them because
You
they
need to pay
making
them
all kind
fucking
of
boys.
money.
You're making all this money off these niggas' jerseys
and then
and
telling
shit.
them what they can't.
Less than 1% makes it to the NBA, and
Yeah.
all them boys is blown out.
By the time they get
They should leave with at least 100 raps.
Yeah.
You should leave with something towards.
I never felt good about
You
that.
should leave with something towards your career that you're gonna get into. Half of these boys don't even get a fucking career because they've been having
You
tutors
saying
and
once you
teachers.
make it to college, you should start getting paid.
Hell yeah! If I'm working, it's working for free.
Once you get to college,
I put it to you this
sports,
way:
yeah.
they shouldn't be able to make no money off of you if they can't pay you. You not should just
but
take my
they
image
just
and make
brought
money
that
off of me.
situation up, and
But
they're getting ready to
technically,
start
a lot of kids there are getting paid because they get.
That's bullshit. The free scholarship.
Scholarships,
No.
But the colleges is making millions and millions and millions.
Scholarships cost money, man.
So let's
not the point.
analyze
That's
that.
another thing I think is wrong with America.
What?
Education should be free.
Totally. But let's get it.
It should be, but
it's not.
how you gonna pay
Because
the
they don't
teachers?
want us to learn.
Listen
How you
to
gonna
me.
pay the people that's actually teaching people?
Listen, I'll answer
They
that
gotta
to you.
get paid.
If they could give XYZ trillions of dollars to this country on stimulus, you could pay for somebody who qualifies for college and say you have to work in your field for XYZ
They
amount
do
of
that.
years.
They do that.
In certain countries that
Yeah.
you go to, college is free as long as you don't just get the education of
You
migrate.
gotta
to
get
the-
them 4 years.
You gotta get them XYZ amount
you
of
gotta get them
time
5 years.
back in the economy to do
Right.
that. In the Cayman Islands, you can only bring somebody to the Cayman Islands to work there if there's not somebody that's physically living
From
in the Cayman
Islands
that
to
could do the job.
Exactly.
So you can't just go hire somebody over there to come over here to do a job. I don't give a fuck if it's mopping the floor. You have to prove that there's nobody in the Cayman Islands is willing or able
Able
or
to do
capable
the job.
to mop the fucking floor before you can fly somebody else in. So you're gonna always make sure your economy is taken care of.
The people.
So at the same time, these are certain things that we have to look at. However, the system that you create, you got to make sure that this fucking shit works and is implemented.
and that it works for everybody.
Right. The biggest issue why we have problems and we don't get shit, and that's the reason why we can't see another stimulus check or whatever, why people are starving. Fucking politicians got lobbyists in their pocket.
Mitch
AT&T,
McConnell.
all of these motherfuckers got all these money that they're paying them for certain agendas.
And
So
let me
now
tell
what
you-
they want is saying that, hey, if I want these motherfuckers to come to my job to work, but if they get corona on this
I
job,
don't want to be responsible.
I don't want to be responsible
That's
for it.
what's holding up the stimulus.
So they telling these Republicans and all these people that you got to make sure that they cannot come back and sue me after that.
I like the way you mentioned corona and cough after that.
Actually, my throat running dry and I need to be drinking some more of this yak.
Do I need to move?
Pinky,
You know what's crazy?
if I got
Corona shit, this corona shit got
Got
niggas
people going
all
crazy,
the
I'm
way
telling
you.
fucked up.
I'm
A
telling
motherfucker
you.
scared to cough in public nowadays,
Yo,
man.
somebody
You know what I
posted
mean?
on Facebook, when would it be okay to cough again?
never.
It's over with. Coughing in public is
Man,
over.
fuck that. I'm
I
going
mean,
to cough.
But the
That's
truth
it.
of the matter is, these are the type of things that we deal with, and that's why I say I don't have to worry about lobbyists and all this fucking political shit when I know I'm making my own money. The only thing they do is going to determine how hard my
Money, how hard
grind
it
is going to be for me to
baby.
get that
Diggity, man,
back.
I understand. See, you the one with the knowledge. We got the knowledge already.
We
The,
just got
the
to give it.
subject is teaching the knowledge to these younger ones.
Well-
so that they can have an understanding
If
of
we don't
what
do
it
something
is
soon, we're
and
going to
what
lose
it
a whole
entails.
generation of young people.
So-
what it entails to actually get to the point that we at. And
So-
for most people, it's through music. Even us.
It's fine, and whatever means you get there. But what I'm trying to say to you is, as long as we implement a winning situation and we create ways to come in the back door, we gotta do this shit and open the door and say,
We
all
gotta
right,
open the door and allow motherfuckers to come in.
Right.
So we gotta hire motherfuckers to come work with us.
Exactly.
So that they can learn
And they
what
gotta-
it is that we're doing.
they gotta want
and
to
implement
learn
it for themselves.
and we gotta know that a lot of them they ain't gonna work out. But
a lot of them don't want to learn.
Exactly.
Which is why we in the situation that we are now.
Shit. I'm gonna knock my finger on it. But the number one thing with that is that, let me say it to you this way. So, reggae artists, dancehall artists, Bounty Killer is known for a lot of these artists that you listen for. He's always working with new talent. Vibes Cartel is a product of his. Movado is a product of his.
Right.
And I can speak about a whole bunch of other ones that you
Right.
probably don't know.
Right up the who's?
Bounty Killer. He's the one who got them all, broke them out.
BK.
Bounty Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bounty Killer is responsible for Movado, Vibes Cartel. He's the one who took them under his wing and wouldn't perform in venues if they didn't
If
allow
they didn't
them
allow
to perform.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, word, that's real
Yes.
That's why I love the nigga.
That's real
I
nigga
got
shit
number
right
love
there,
for the
man.
nigga. I don't care what he do.
shit. I got love for him now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A
Whole new
newfound respect for
Right.
him after hearing this.
Right. So
Yeah.
he would bring these artists and he does it to today. A lot of these artists turn around dissing him and disrespecting him, and he says he will never stop because he can only eliminate poverty in where he come from by making more of them rich.
Right.
Yes.
So even though
They don't appreciate.
he loses relationship along the line with the
Yeah.
people that he even helped, his situation is that
He gonna keep doing.
he
it.
gonna keep on pushing it so that he can help more. So I'm saying to us, is that regardless of how the people around us act, we have a fiduciary or obligation, responsibility to help them as much of us to understand what's going on. Every time we could do it.
I'm glad you painted yourself
and
into
push the agenda forward.
Glad you painted yourself into a.
Let's talk about it.
How?
Because right now we happen to have
a bunch
some misguided individuals that's actually in our circle.
Facts.
And at the moment, we
I'm about
slick ready to wash our hands.
And I'm about to answer that question for you right now.
I mean?
Hold on.
But
no, keep on going.
But based on what you're saying, we shouldn't be washing our hands with them. We should be showing them and telling them what they need to do. And I believe we had a conversation about this before.
Right.
Where I was telling you, like, yo, they really don't know what the fuck they supposed to do.
Okay.
They don't.
I'm sure they would do what it is that they supposed to do if they knew what the fuck it was. They don't have a clue.
Okay, so.
But they gotta want it. Go ahead.
But hold up, I'm gonna answer the question for you. And I told you the answer, but I think this will open up the answer to you. Until I make myself set where I can absorb the fuckery that they're bringing to the table.
Okay.
Because I'm not at the age where I can allow them to keep on fucking with what we don't have.
No diggity.
So if I'm putting the bag on them to perform and they're not doing it, I have to now put the pack.
I don't mean put the bag on them. I mean give them the knowledge of what it is that we are looking for. Because they don't know. They don't know what it is that we're looking for.
They need to see it from y'all first. They need to see the success and everything that you guys are doing in order for them to believe that it's possible.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. They see Jay-Z. They see.
I'm talking about y'all.
They see these men doing the same thing,
right?
And they are successful, so they know it's possible. But what they don't know is how to get there.
Well, the thing about it is this: they don't believe in the process that we're giving them because
you ain't did it.
The fact is this:
you ain't did it.
If we had $100 million in our pocket, they would just jump for whatever we said.
Whatever the fuck we told them to do.
And whatever if they knew that there was that much money around us and we were
if they saw us doing it.
What you're telling me is we have to be successful in order to teach the young ones how to be successful.
We have to be successful for them to see it. That's what he's saying.
They will believe exactly.
Then it's easier for them to believe.
At the end of the day,
same thing.
I see successful people every day.
The same thing. The thing about it is, but you don't. They have a relationship with us.
We don't. Yeah,
they have a direct relationship.
So they're watching.
So listen, if I'm standing next to Blam and I know he got $10 million, in my mindset is that whatever he tell me to do, I'm gonna knock it out.
He did it. He got 10 million somehow.
He did it already.
He know how to get it. So that means he must know what the fuck he talking about.